Okay. I think I am.
All right, we can see you
I'm
now.
on video. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Commissioner, in your last hearing in April, you testified that the IRS was up to date on opening its mail. However, that very same day, a taxpayer advocate service representative informed my staff that the processing center in Kansas City was still opening mail from June 2020. Now, my Hoosier constituents continue to be told by the Internal Revenue Service employees that the IRS is currently opening and processing mail from July 2020. What's going on here?
That's false. The information you're getting from the Taxpayer Advocate Service is not accurate. I would encourage you, if you or your people, and this goes to all the members, get information that doesn't make sense to you, please reach out to me. Most of you have my cell phone. My cell phone's available to all of you. We'll schedule one-on-one meetings with you. The IRS has 4 mail services, and those mail services are processing mail currently within days of receipt. So whatever information the taxpayer advocate or local taxpayer advocate is getting to you, they don't have the current information. And I can tell you, we have 4 services. Austin is opening mail. As of May 29, was opening mail from May 24, received. Fresno on May 29, opening mail received May 28. Kansas City on May 29, opening mail received May 24. Ogden on May 29, opening mail received May 28. We receive between 1 and 1.5 million pieces of mail a week. We process all the mail within a week of receipt. So I apologize if the information is not accurate, but my request, sir, would be to please reach out to me.
I will indeed. I'm going to get to the bottom of this on behalf of my Hoosier constituents, and I thank you for addressing that, sir. It is curious to me, it's peculiar that the Taxpayer Advocate Service would be so wrong so consistently. If this has been a problem, and if indeed this is a matter of conviction for you, as it seems to be, have you had dialogue with them to ensure that their discrepancies and their inaccuracies can be remedied? They'd have no reason to promulgate inaccurate information, presumably.
The taxpayer advocate is thoroughly engaged with every facet of the Internal Revenue Service. And as you would imagine, the taxpayer advocate herself is significantly engaged with our processing centers and the rest, and the wage and investment, which is where all the processing happens. So what gets into the field for taxpayer advocate in the local offices, I'm unaware of, but I am aware that they do have the information, and I'm not sure when your folks got that information, but I can tell you, and I would look forward to the opportunity to talk to you on the phone, maybe that we could get additional information and figure out how that happened. But I can tell you that we are current, and this didn't just happen yesterday.
We received that information in April, again, the same day you testified before this hearing. So we're going to have to get clarity on this. You indicated that the Taxpayer Advocate Service has visibility into all aspects, but it's not getting, some of that information is not finding its way into the field.
That would be my impression. They're an independent operation within the Internal Revenue Service, so I don't know how their information flows, but they want to get the right information to you and your people as well. We're all in trying to make everything as best possible for taxpayers, for members of Congress, for your staff and whatnot. And so, again, I would appreciate the opportunity that we follow up, and I would encourage the members to interact directly with the taxpayer advocate herself. Interact with me, and separately, interact with her.
Okay. Would you, sir, or a member of your team follow up with the IRS Processing Center in Kansas City, just to ensure that nothing's been overlooked with respect to the opening of mail and outstanding paper returns from 2019?
The 2019 returns are current. And referring to Kansas City, if you're referring to the Error Resolution Service, which is housed in Kansas City, that's a separate issue from the mail. And I may have indicated earlier that in ERS, currently we have about 9.4 million individual returns, and that was a May 28 date, and that the majority of those were pulled out for one of 5 reasons, which is reconciliation of return recovery rebate, which is the EIP reconciliation, additional child tax credit, math verifications, missing Form 8962 and whatnot. But we can give you specifics. But that may be a separate issue than physical mail. Physical mail is current. In the IRS, what we're trying to do is to work with the taxpayers, and we need additional information to free those up. And if those items were missing on the return processing, they cannot be automatically processed, and it gets kicked out to manual. And the manual process is to verify and to reconcile the issues that were there. And I'd appreciate the opportunity maybe that we walk you through that with some of the other people.
Well, I'm grateful. I'm going to take you up on that opportunity. You, Mr. Commissioner, and my office, and if necessary, the Taxpayer Advocate Service, will get some answers for my constituents because they're being told that their paper 2019 returns haven't even been opened or processed yet. That's the bottom line. And
yeah,
this
also,
is yes.
When we talk one-on-one, if your folks could be prepared, assuming you have the authority, the authorizations to give us some specific information, that would help.
If we're lacking in any authorizations, we will we'll seek them, sir.
That was a heads up to try to get that before the call, because a lot of things we can resolve when we have that call.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, and we'll keep this one tight.
We need to wrap up pretty quickly.
Okay, about half of the U.S. population over the age of 12 is fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and almost 90% of vulnerable seniors have received at least one dose. Now that Americans have broad access to COVID-19 vaccines, how's the IRS planning to get employees back in the office and reopen those in the field taxpayer assistance centers to help more Americans resolve their tax troubles?
And if you could be brief, Commissioner.
We expect to reopen any closed centers that we have staffing for promptly, and the president's budget provides staffing for us to actually reopen all centers, which would be significant.